You've been told you need £18,000 to £25,000 just to exchange on a single property. So you're stuck saving for 12 months, maybe longer, watching deals go past while you wait to scrape together another deposit. And the maths is brutal. 1 deal a year if you're disciplined, 2 if you're very lucky. Meanwhile, the operators running actual deal businesses are exchanging on 3, 4, 5 properties at once with the same capital you've got sat in your account right now. Here's what they know that you don't. Delayed completion lets you exchange contracts today with £500 to £2,000, giving you legal control of a property for 6 to 24 months before you need to bring the full purchase price. It's not a loophole, it's not grey area. It's standard contractual flexibility that turns your 15 to 30 grand into deal flow instead of dead money locked in a single deposit. You can monetise during the delay period. Tenant income, assignment fees, joint venture splits, and you only complete on the deals that pencil. What we're doing today is walking through the exact contract mechanics, the seller conversation that gets them to say yes, the 4 monetisation routes you can pick from, and a worked example on a £180,000 Midlands terrace where an operator cleared 8.5 grand without ever owning it. This is the difference between waiting and operating. If you want to build a repeatable deal business in the UK, hit the like button and subscribe, because this channel exists to show you the real mechanics, not the theory. So what is delayed completion actually, and what do you pay today? Standard residential contracts exchange and complete in 28 days. Exchange means both parties are legally bound. Completion means the balance transfers, keys hand over, you own it. Delayed completion is the same contract with one change. The completion date sits 6 months out, 12 months, 18 months, sometimes 24 months. You exchange immediately, so the deal is locked in, but legal ownership and the money movement happen later. What you actually pay up front is either a reservation fee, typically £500 to £2,000, non-refundable, or a nominal exchange deposit. 1%, 2.5%, maybe 5% held by the solicitor in escrow. Not the 10% everyone assumes. On a £180,000 property, that's £2,000 reservation or £5,000 deposit instead of £18,000. The difference is the gap between running 1 deal and running 5. This isn't some hack, it's a contractual term. You just need to know how to ask for it and which sellers will actually agree. Because not every seller says yes, you need the right profile. 3 types work beautifully. Landlords exiting who want certainty, no chain risk, and they're often happy to wait if it aligns with their tax year. Executors dealing with probate delay who need a buyer locked in today but can't complete until the grant comes through, sometimes 6 to 12 months out. And older owners downsizing who don't need the cash immediately but value the security of a signed contract over the stress of staying on the market. What they get is a binding agreement today. No risk of you pulling out, no more viewings, no gazumping, and a completion date that suits their timeline, not yours. What they avoid is chain risk, time wasters and the anxiety of an active sale. You find them in listings over 90 days, ads that mention no chain or flexible timescale, and direct-to-vendor approaches before they even list. This works in lower value markets, 120 to 250,000, where certainty beats squeezing every penny. It doesn't work in competitive prime postcodes with 10 cash buyers circling. Now the contract itself. This is where most people get sloppy and the deal collapses. The completion date clause must be explicit. Completion to occur on this date or earlier by mutual agreement. Not vague, not approximate. Locked in, deposit and reservation terms need to state exactly what you're paying on exchange, whether it's refundable or forfeit if you fail to complete, and that it's held by the solicitor as stakeholder, not released to the seller. Vacant possession versus tenanted. You need it written whether the property is sold empty or with a tenant in situ, because if you're planning to fill it yourself during the delay, that has to be allowed. Maintenance and insurance during the delay period. Typically the seller retains responsibility until completion, but this must be in the contract. Who pays buildings insurance? Who handles repairs if a boiler goes? Default clauses protect both sides. If you can't complete, you lose the reservation fee or deposit, but your liability is capped. No open-ended damages. If the seller tries to withdraw, they return your deposit plus potential compensation. You need a solicitor who understands delayed completions. Not all conveyancers do. Ask upfront. A watertight contract is non-negotiable, and they'll also flag any land registry issues or lender restrictions that could kill the deal at the last minute. Securing the deal is only half of it. You need to monetise before you complete, or you are just burning a reservation fee and going nowhere. 4 routes, pick yours before you exchange, not after. Route 1, assignment or back-to-back sale. You find a cash buyer or investor who wants the property. You assign your contract to them, or you exchange with them the day before you complete with the seller. You charge a sourcing or assignment fee, £5,000 to £15,000. You never own it, you just controlled it and passed it on. Route 2, joint venture partner. Use the delay to find a cash investor or someone mortgage ready. They fund the purchase. You bring the deal and the work. You split the profit. Typical splits are 50-50 or 60-40 in their favour, depending on who is doing what and who is taking the risk. Route 3, tenant in place. If the contract allows, fill the property with a tenant during the delay. Standard assured short-hold tenancy, or rent to rent if the seller agrees. Collect rent for 6 to 18 months before you complete. Use that income to cover your costs or prove cash flow to a lender when you refinance. Route 4, bridging finance. Use the signed contract as proof of the deal to a bridging lender. They will lend against the purchase price, typically 70 to 75% loan to value. You complete, then refinance onto a standard buy-to-let mortgage within 6 to 12 months. The decision rule is simple. Know your exit before you exchange. Delayed completion is only safe if you have mapped how you are getting out, ideally with 2 routes, not 1. But none of this matters if you can't get the seller to agree in the first place. So here's the conversation. The frame is everything. I can offer you asking price, or close to it, and give you a signed contract today, with completion in X months to suit your timescale. Does that work better than waiting for a buyer with a chain or mortgage uncertainty? Emphasise what they gain. No chain, no fall-throughs, no more viewings. Contracts signed this week. They can plan their next move with certainty. When they ask why would I wait, tie the delay to their benefit. Tax year probate timing. Their purchase timescale. Removing the stress of an active sale. When you mention the deposit, do it after they've agreed in principle to the timescale. Then explain you'll pay X reservation fee on exchange, held by the solicitor, and the balance on completion. Script example. I'm a cash-ready buyer, I don't need a mortgage or survey delay, and I'm happy to work to your timeline. Does 18 months give you enough breathing room? Credibility matters. Mention your solicitor by name if possible. Say you've done this structure before, even if this is your first, because you've researched it thoroughly. Sellers and their solicitors respond to professionalism, not desperation. Let me show you the numbers on a real example. Property is £180,000 asking price. 3-bed terrace in the Midlands. Been on the market 120 days. Landlord exiting. No chain. Offer structure is £180,000 purchase price. 18-month delayed completion. £2,000 reservation fee on exchange. Non-refundable. Balance of £178,000 due on completion date. Monetisation plan. Find a tenant at £950 per calendar month, market rate. Collect rent for 18 months. That's £17,100 gross income. Costs during the delay. Buildings insurance covered by the seller per the contract. Your costs are minimal. Solicitor fees £800 to £1,200 on exchange. Tenant fine fee £300 to £500. Exit route. After 12 months, approach cash buyers and investors. Sell the contract back to back at £190,000. Your profit is 10 grand. A 190,000 sale minus a 180,000 purchase minus your costs of about £1,500. Net profit £8,500. Alternative exit. Keep it. Refinance at month 17 using the tenant and a standard 75% LTV buy-to-let mortgage. That's a £135,000 loan. Bring £45,000 to complete from a joint venture partner or your own savings. Retain the asset. Risk check. If you can't find a buyer or finance, you lose the £2,000 reservation fee and walk away. Your maximum exposure is capped. Now the risks and the red lines, because this isn't a free ride. Biggest risk is not being able to complete. If you can't find a buyer, joint venture partner, tenant income or mortgage, you forfeit your fee or deposit and the deal collapses. Red line 1. Never agree to delayed completion without a clear monetisation plan and at least one credible exit route mapped out before you exchange. Red line 2. Don't use this if the seller or their solicitor is hostile or doesn't understand the structure. You need a cooperative counterparty, or the contract negotiation will be a nightmare. Red line 3. Avoid this in rising markets where the seller might get cold feet and try to withdraw. Your contract is binding, but litigation is expensive and slow. When it works best. Motivated sellers, lower value markets. You have a network of buyers, investors, or joint venture partners already warming up. And you have a solicitor who has done this before. The professional framing is critical here. This isn't a hack to avoid having money. It's a way to control more deals with the capital you do have. So you are running a portfolio business, not waiting years between single purchases. Compliance note. If you are regularly sourcing or packaging deals for a fee, check with a property solicitor whether you need to register with a redress scheme or comply with anti-money laundering regulations. It's part of operating professionally, not an optional extra. The core shift is this. Delayed completion turns your 15 to 30,000 from deposit for one property into control capital for 3, 4, 5 deals at once. You're not waiting to save another 20 grand. You're exchanging on multiple properties, monetising during the delay through tenant income, assignment fees, joint venture splits, and only completing on the ones that pencil. Next action. Find one potential deal this week. Landlord exit, probate, long listing. Run the numbers. Have the delayed completion conversation with the agent or vendor. Get comfortable with the mechanics before you need them under pressure. This is the difference between being an aspiring investor and being an operator. Operators control assets and extract profit before they ever show up on a mortgage statement. That's the game.